हमारी निर्मित दवा जो है वो पूरे महाराष्ट्र के लिए पर्याप्त हो जाएगी और कुछ समय बाद जब मटेरियल अवेलेबल हो जाएगा अच्छी क्वांटिटी में तो पूरे भारत के लिए पर्याप्त होगी। और हमारी जो यहाँ की प्रेजेंट कैपेसिटी है 20,000 वायल हम लोग बना सकते हैं प्रतिदिन। और एम्फोटेरिसिन भी ये दवा जो है इंजेक्शन हम जो बना रहे हैं इमल्शन फॉर्म में बना रहे हैं और ये सब लिपिड बेस्ड है। हमने हमारी अलग टेक्नोलॉजी विकसित करके इसकी कीमत काफ़ी कम रखी है, लगभग 1200 रुपये में यह बाज़ार में अवेलेबल होगी और जिस वजह से सभी लोग इसको अफोर्ड कर सकेंगे जिनको ज़रूरत है।
All right, now COVID vaccination drive in India continues. Over 20 crore 26 lakh doses administered within 131 days. And after the United States of America, India is the second country to achieve the 20 crore vaccination doses landmark. Let's take a look at these numbers in detail. The cumulative number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country stand at 20 crore 26 lakh 95,874. 15 crore 90 lakh 25,000 plus beneficiaries were vaccinated for first dose and 4 crore 36 lakh 70,000 plus beneficiaries received their second dose of vaccine. Now, as on day 131 of the vaccination drive, that was on the 26th of May, that is yesterday, total 18 lakh 85,805 vaccine doses were given, out of which 17 lakh 33,643 beneficiaries were in the age group of 18 to 44. They received their dose of COVID vaccine on Wednesday, that is yesterday. 1 lakh 52,162 beneficiaries received their second dose of vaccine in a single day. States like Bihar, Gujarat, Rajasthan, UP, they have administered more than 10 lakh beneficiaries falling under the age group of 18 to 44 years for the first dose of COVID vaccine. Government, in fact, has so far provided both through the free of cost category and through the direct state procurement category, more than 22 crore vaccine doses provided to the states and union territories. And of this, the total consumption, including the wastages, stands at 20 crore 17 lakh 59,000 plus doses. More than 1.84 crore doses still are available with the states and union territories, which will be administered in near future. Furthermore, over 11 lakh vaccine doses are in the pipeline and will be received by the states and union territories within the next 3 days. So several myths of India's COVID-19 vaccination program are doing rounds. Now, these myths or misinformation are arising due to distorted statements or half-truths and blatant lies. Member Health in Niti Aayog and chair of the National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration for COVID-19, Dr. Vinod Pal, has come up with this explainer, detailed paper busting these myths and giving a factual rebuttal on all these issues. Let's begin and talk about myth number one. The myth number one was that India's center is not doing enough to buy vaccines from abroad. Now, this is how the government rebuts this. The government is engaged continuously with major international vaccine manufacturers. Therefore, it's just a misinformation. More so, multiple rounds of discussions are currently on with Pfizer and Moderna as well as J&J. Moving on. Mostly Sputnik vaccine, that has been accelerated with the timely approval coming. And also when we talk about Sputnik, Russia in fact has sent 2 tranches of vaccines and has also accomplished tech transfer to our companies as well. Now let's move on to myth number 2, that the center has not approved vaccines available globally. This is an absolutely false statement. On the contrary, Government of India has eased entry of vaccines approved by the United States FDA, that is US Food and Drug Administration, also from EMA, that is European Medicines Agency, UK's MHRA, which means Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, and also Japan's PMDA, which stands for Pharmaceuticals and Medical Devices Agency. Most importantly, government has also at the same time approved the WHO's emergency use of listing into India. That is important, which means vaccines will not need to undergo prior bridging trials. And there is also at the same time, let's move on, the fact remains that the provision amended to waive off trial requirements has been done altogether, and this waive off is specifically for the well-established vaccine manufacturing companies. Along with that, to ease this out, no application of any foreign manufacturer is required for approval, and that is something which is pending with the drugs controller. This is important. Now, let's move on to myth number 3, or misinformation, which is also being spread. The fact that Centre is not doing enough to ramp up domestic production of vaccines. On the contrary, Centre has been working on war footing because government is playing a very, very important and effective role as a facilitator to enable the companies to produce these vaccines, as reiterated by Dr. Paul of Niti Aayog. In fact, there is one Indian company we do know, Bharat Biotech, which currently has IP. Along with that, there are three companies or the plants which plan to start up the production of the Covaxin. Bharat Biotech's own plants, in fact, they've increased from 1 to 4. Initially, they had 1 plant, now they have 4 plants. Moving on. The Covaxin production has been increased. This is important. This production has been increased, increased under 1 crore per month. They used to produce 1 crore per month to 10 crore by October this year. Well, this is the target that has been set up. 3 PSUs together are aiming to produce up to 4 crore doses by December. That's the target which government on record says. Serum Institute, we do know, is ramping up the Covishield production. That is something which continues parallelly. And the production up to 6.4 crore doses per month, which was earlier, that has been ramped up to 11 crore doses per month. Besides that, the fact remains that the partnership with Russia's Sputnik manufactured by 6 companies is now being also coordinated by India's Dr. Reddy's lab. Along with that, Zydus, Cadila, BioE, Genova, they are already accelerated and they are on track for their indigenous vaccine production, which means the estimation of the production is over 200 crore doses by our vaccine industry by the end of 2021. Now, let's move on to the myth number 4. The myth number 4, or the false or a blatant lie, that Centre should invoke compulsory licensing. This is not possible because compulsory licensing, as per the Health Ministry, is not the formula that is going to actually matter. Moving on, the government says that the active partnership and the training of human resources plus the sourcing of the raw material is what should be the focus and what is the focus. Besides that, highest levels of biosafety labs is important. This is something which is required, and the government ensures that this is in place. Besides this, the tech transfer or the technology transfer remains in the hands of the company that are involved in carrying out research and development. Along with that, government is ensuring that there is active partnership between Bharat Biotech and 3 other entities. And along with it, the partnership to enhance the production of Covaxin is also moving on the war footing. Now, let's move on to the misinformation number 5. The misinformation number 5, that the Centre has abdicated its responsibility to states. Now, there is a rebuttal. It has not abdicated its responsibility because government, the central government, is doing all that is needed, including the heavy lifting of funding vaccines, very important. Manufacturers to get quick approvals so that no time is wasted, very important. Ramping up of production to bring foreign vaccines to India, that is something we've seen the way it has actually moved to level next. This has been accelerated because the government is running the entire vaccine program. This started from January to April, and this continues while vaccine program well administered has been, in fact, more well administered. The whole ecosystem of the vaccine program has become more robust. We saw the situation in April and May. It's going to go further. It's going to strengthen further. Besides this, a liberalized vaccine policy outcome of was actually the outcome of the requests that were made by the states to the Centre, because of which the government came up with the liberalized vaccine policy. Now, vaccines are also in short supply. This we need to understand worldwide. Hence, it is just a matter of fact and a common sense that it is not easy to procure them at short notice, and the states should understand that, and some states do understand that. Moving on to myth number 6. Myth number 6, that the Centre is not giving enough vaccines to the states. Now, some states have flagged this. Some quarters, political quarters, have flagged this. Now, here is the government answer. Centre is allocating or allotting enough vaccine to states in the most transparent manner by following guidelines as well. States are being informed in advance of the vaccine availability. There is a line of communication open that always was, and vaccine availability going to increase in near future. Government completely understands and recognizes that fact. The fact that vaccine supply has been augmented, and we do have a daily government presser, government papers, it's all over in media, how the vaccine supply is being augmented, and states are getting 25% of the doses, and private hospitals are also getting 25% of the doses as it was established earlier. Moving on to now, finally, myth number 7, that centre is not taking any step to vaccinate children. Absolutely false. Absolutely false, because this is an attempt to create panic and misinformation. Fact number 1 remains that there is no country in the world which is giving vaccines to the children so far. Most importantly, WHO has no recommendation on vaccinating children as of now. There are also encouraging studies about safety of vaccines in children. Government of India is keeping a very, very close watch of that as well. Now, trials in children in India are going to begin soon. That is what is important. So there is no need to press that panic button. And decision taken by the scientists, these are the call that has been taken by the scientists after adequate trial-based data. So therefore, as far as India's vaccination program is concerned, this is how a detailed paper. In fact, for your reference, you can go to the PIB website and go through these factual rebuttals that has come, that greatly explains the entire vaccination drive that is currently being implemented and various important aspects associated with it. Okay, now on Midday Prime, let's move on and talk about Ayush application. Union Minister Kiran Rijiju will be launching the Ayush Clinical Case Repository portal and the third version of Ayush Sanjeevani app in a virtual event today. The Ayush Clinical Repository portal will serve as a platform to support both Ayush practitioners and general public. The portal aims to aggregate information about clinical outcomes achieved by Ayush practitioners on large scale. It will not only benefit the practitioner community and the public by and large, but will also help widen the solid scientific base of all streams of Ayush. The third version of Ayush Sanjeevani app will facilitate a significant study and documentation regarding the efficacy of selected Ayush interventions, including Ayush 64 and Kabasura Kudineer medicine in the management of asymptomatic and mild to moderate COVID-19 patients. And now let's take a look at the fresh COVID figures issued by Health Ministry today. India's fight against COVID-19 continues unabated. The active caseload has further declined to 24.19 lakh, a decrease of 75,684 in active cases has been witnessed in last 24 hours. At 2.11 lakh cases, declining trend in new cases is maintained. Over 2 crore 46 lakh total recoveries across the country so far. Over 2,83,000 COVID patients recovered during last 24 hours. Recoveries continue to outnumber daily new cases for the 14th consecutive day. Recovery rate has further improved to 90.01%. Weekly positivity rate currently stands at 10.93%. Daily positivity rate stands at 9.79%, less than 10% for the 3 consecutive days. And tests for COVID-19 are going on in full swing. As per the ICMR, or Indian Council of Medical Research, 21,57,857 tests have been conducted in the last 24 hours. So far, 33 crore 69,69,353 tests have been conducted in the country. And now let's move on to the next segment, that is National Prime. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today launched the services e-health assistance and teleconsultation Sehat OPD portal via video conferencing. By this portal, serving defence personnel from Army, Navy, Air Force and personnel can take teleconsultations from armed forces specialist doctors. It will also cater to around 4 crore people and family members of the defence personnel. Those aged 75 and above will not need to wait to get consultation. The Defence Minister said the portal reflects the Ministry's commitment towards Digital India and e-governance.
इस पोर्टल के आने से ऐसी अनेक समस्याओं का एक साथ ही समाधान हुआ है। ये बहुत ही क्रिटिकल टाइम पर सर्विस पर्सनल के स्वास्थ्य के लिए उठाया गया बहुत ही बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण कदम है। यह पोर्टल डिजिटल इंडिया और हमारे ई गवर्नेंस के प्रति हमारे कमिटमेंट को भी दर्शाता है। हमारा हमेशा प्रयास रहा है कि हम अपने देशवासियों को बेहतर, तेज और पारदर्शी सुविधाएं दे सकें। यह पोर्टल भी उसी की एक मिसाल है।
The Defence Minister praised the work being done by the Ministry of Defence and also the armed forces in combating COVID-19, saying that even during the second wave of COVID-19, Ministry of Defence is providing all the possible assistance. He even said the DRDO has set up COVID hospitals and oxygen generation plants in Delhi, Lucknow, Varanasi and many other parts of the country.
कोविड की यह वेव न केवल अप्रत्याशित बल्कि पहले की अपेक्षा अधिक खतरनाक भी थी, पर उसी अनुपात में ही कोविड के इस दूसरे दौर में भी रक्षा मंत्रालय ने बढ़ चढ़कर अपनी सेवाएं प्रदान की हैं और इस ओर आप सबके सम्मिलित प्रयास बहुत ही सराहनीय हैं। हमारी आर्म्ड फोर्सेस ने भी कोविड अस्पतालों में ट्रेंड मेडिकल और सपोर्ट मैन पावर प्रदान किया है। यही नहीं, यहां जरूरत पड़ी हमारी सेनाओं ने तकनीकी और लॉजिस्टिक सपोर्ट के क्षेत्रों में भी बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई है। देश विदेश से समय पर ऑक्सीजन और अन्य क्रिटिकल मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट लाने में एयरफोर्स और नेवी का बहुत बड़ा योगदान रहा है।
Central government is committed to ensure availability of the vaccines. Briefing media, BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra said the centre and the state governments have ramped up vaccination campaigns as the second wave of corona is getting now weaker. BJP spokesperson also responded to the allegations of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, saying that Arvind Kejriwal is doing politics in a case which is not fair.
20 करोड़ 1,61,350 वैक्सीन फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट भारत सरकार की ओर से राज्यों को दिया गया है। देखिए मित्रों, ये कोई वैक्सीन भारत सरकार जो प्रोक्योर करती है ये पार्लियामेंट के बिल्डिंग में या निर्माण भवन में बंद करके अपने लोगों के लिए नहीं रखती है। जो हमारा है वो सब आपका है, जो केंद्र का है वही तो राज्य का है। राज्य और केंद्र मिलके ही तो काम कर रहे हैं। ये दिल्ली की जनता को जाता है, उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता को जाता है, कर्नाटक की जनता को जाता है, ये उड़ीसा की जनता को जाता है, राज्य में ही जाता है। तो ये बहुत गलत बात है कि केंद्र राज्य को वैक्सीन नहीं दे रहा है, ये भ्रामक है। ये कहीं ना कहीं वन अपमैनशिप के लिए कि मैं सबसे अच्छा मुख्यमंत्री हूं, ये प्रूव करने की जो होड़ लगी हुई है कुछ मुख्यमंत्री और कुछ राजनेताओं में, मुझे लगता है ये कहीं ना कहीं इस युद्ध में उचित नहीं है।
Speaking on the trial of the vaccine on children, Sambit Patra said the government is considering every aspect, saying that we cannot treat children as guinea pigs and will vaccinate them only when all the trials will be finished.
अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने एक भ्रम फैलाया, जो बच्चे हैं उनको यह भारतवर्ष वैक्सीनेट नहीं कर रहा है और बार बार उन्होंने डिमांड किया कि बच्चों को वैक्सीनेट किया जाए। वैक्सीनेशन एक वैज्ञानिक प्रक्रिया है, एक साइंटिफिक तरीका है, इसलिए आज पूरे विश्व में कहीं भी बच्चों पे वैक्सीनेशन की प्रक्रिया आरंभ नहीं हुई है। आज ट्रायल मोड पे है। हिंदुस्तान में भी यथाशीघ्र ये ट्रायल आरंभ हो रहा है। ट्रायल से पहले हम बच्चों को गिनी पिग के रूप में ट्रीट नहीं कर सकते। जो वैक्सीन वयस्कों को लगता है, एडल्ट्स को लगता है, वो बच्चों को लग सकता है। इन सभी विषयों में जब तक कि पुख्ता जानकारी के साथ ट्रायल्स कंप्लीट ना हो, हम अपनी बच्चों की जिंदगी के साथ खिलवाड़ नहीं कर सकते हैं। और केजरीवाल जी, आपसे भी हाथ जोड़ के निवेदन है, बच्चों को इस लड़ाई के बीच में मत लाइए।
BJP spokesperson said that the government has worked to increase the production of vaccines, adding that PSUs have also been allowed to increase production and are also playing an important role in the production of Covaxin.
जब ये पूरा प्रोसेस शुरू हुआ तो कोवैक्सीन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए भारत बायोटेक का केवल एक प्लांट था। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा भारत सरकार का कि आज भारत बायोटेक का 4 प्लांट है, क्योंकि भारत सरकार ने प्रोएक्टिवली काम करके किस प्रकार से प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाया जाए कोवैक्सीन का, उसके लिए काम किया है। यही भारत बायोटेक जो आज लगभग 1 करोड़ प्रति माह की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करती है, अक्टूबर के महीने तक 10 करोड़ प्रति माह मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करे। ये विश्व में किसी भी और कंपनी और किसी भी और देश में बिल्कुल देखने को नहीं मिलता है।
Meanwhile, after the cyclone Yasin Orissa, the first oxygen express that has left from Rourkela off Orissa to Nellore in Andhra Pradesh early this morning. This train is passing through Hirakud station of Sambalpur division. This oxygen relief express is about 78 metric tons of oxygen in 4 containers. And in order to provide relief to the country, another oxygen express has reached its destination earlier. The oxygen express train, which reached Ernakulam of Kerala from Rourkela of Orissa, has 7 containers of 133.64 metric oxygen. Well, lockdown-like curbs are still in many places. They are put in place in union territories like Jammu Kashmir in order to restrict the spread of COVID-19. Srinagar too has imposed lockdown to rein in the spread of infection and mounting deaths. Markets in Srinagar have been ordered to remain shut. People have been asked to remain indoors. Only essential services are allowed. Meanwhile, Jammu Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha has launched a special scheme for financial assistance to families who have lost their only bread earner due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Under the scheme, Special Assistance Scheme for COVID Mortalities or SASCM, cash assistance of ₹1,000 per month will be provided to the spouse and the eldest member of the family. Apart from this, the scheme provides for a scholarship of ₹20,000 per annum for school-going students and ₹40,000 per annum for college-going students. Also, COVID-19 vaccination drive is being carried out across the country. Amid this, people between 18 to 45 years in Udhampur district of Jammu and Kashmir are being vaccinated. There are around 25 vaccination camps set up in the district of Udhampur and Jammu. In other news, fugitive Mehul Choksi, who had fled to Antigua and Barbuda, has been captured in Dominica. Choksi was missing from his home in Antigua and Barbuda, Caribbean nation of which he has been a citizen since early 2018. Choksi, who's a nephew of Nirav Modi, fugitive, is wanted in ₹13,500 crore loan fraud in the Punjab National Bank. He was last seen going for dining in his car in Antigua and Barbuda on Sunday. An Interpol yellow notice was issued against Choksi after a request from the Antiguan police. The notice is issued by Interpol to track missing persons. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown says Mehul Choksi will be repatriated to India and Indian authorities are in touch with those in Dominica. He also requested Prime Minister Skerrit and law enforcement agencies in Dominica to not return Choksi to Antigua, where he has legal and constitutional protection as citizen.
He was actually found in Dominica, and it would appear that he may have entered the island illegally, possibly by boat. So the Dominican government is cooperating with the Antiguan and Indian governments. Mr. Choksi will be deported from Dominica. However, we have requested Prime Minister Skerrit and law enforcement in Dominica not to return him to Antigua, where he has legal and constitutional protection as a citizen. In fact, we have requested specifically that he be detained and to allow law enforcement in India to make the necessary arrangements with the Dominican government to have Mr. Choksi returned directly to India. The Dominica government and Dominica law enforcement, they're cooperating, and we would have informed the Indian government that they need to act swiftly to have him repatriated to India.
Delhi High Court is likely to hear today a petition moved by Sushil Kumar's mother. In her petition, she has sought to make standard rules for reporting in criminal cases by considering the rights of accused and to put stop to the media trial. She has appealed to stop from sensational reporting in case against wrestler Sushil Kumar. The Indian Coast Guard continues to work in full swing to douse the fire that broke out in container ship MV Express Pearl of the Colombo coast in Sri Lanka. Government of India has received requests from Sri Lankan authorities, after which the ICG swiftly deployed its assets to provide immediate assistance to MV Express Pearl. ICG ships Vaibhav and Vajra, both the ships are working on bringing the blaze under control using external firefighting systems, braving the odds of rough weather. The distressed vessel MV Express Pearl was carrying 1,486 containers with nitric acid and other hazardous IMDG code chemicals. Extreme fire damage to containers and prevailing inclement weather has caused vessel to tilt to starboard, resulting in falling of containers overboard. And let's move on and quickly talk about some business news. Well, the Reserve Bank of India has released the annual report for the year 2021, and this is the first annual report of the RBI switched to the new accounting year from April to March, from early July to June period. Now, thus the current annual report covers the developments between July 2022 and March 2021. The RBI says in this report that the global and domestic outlook turn grim and overcast with extreme uncertainty and downside risk after the second wave. This year 2020 was extremely challenging. The year 2020 was challenging because on the output front and the employment losses in the history globally as well as in India, RBI has felt that pandemic is the biggest risk to the growth outlook, with consensus gravitating towards the RBI projection of 10.5% in the year 2021-22. The CPI inflation trajectory is likely to be subjected to both upside and downside pressure, expected to average 5% during 2021-22. RBI in its annual report admitted that as compared to the financial crisis, health crisis can be more pervasive, persistent and devastating in its impact on the real economy. It estimates that the global liquidity support during the pandemic has been $16 trillion, which is 15.3% of the world GDP. On the other hand, India launched comprehensive package under Atmanirbhar Bharat to provide support to the tune of 15.7% of the GDP in 2021, while financial support announced by the RBI for the economy has been 15.7 lakh crore rupees for 8% of the GDP in 2021. The report adds that the faster vaccination holds the key to India's fight against pandemic. India can prepare for the year ahead with the confidence and fortitude. Agriculture and other allied activities immersed as the bright spot in the Indian economy in 2021, while the service sector suffered the most. RBI has also noted that private investment is the missing piece in the story of Indian economy in 2021. And the domestic stock markets have posted small gains so far on Thursday, with the Sensex and the BSE adding 109 points or 0.2% to 51,127 a short while ago. Nifty at the National Stock Exchange had advanced 41 points or 0.3% to 15,342. Broader market, BSE Mid Cap Index has added 0.5%. Small Cap Index gained 0.6%. Top index gainers Wipro, Kotak Mahindra, SBI, TCS with gains of between 1.5% and 1.8%. And the top index losers are Bajaj Finance, ONGC, HDFC, Bajaj Finserv with losses of between 1% and 1.8%. On Midday Prime, up next, World Prime. US President Joe Biden has ordered US intelligence agencies to report to him in the next 3 months on whether the COVID-19 virus first emerged in China from an animal source or from a laboratory accident. Biden said in a statement released by the White House that agencies are currently split over the two possible sources for the virus that swept the planet over the past year, killing more than 3.4 million people. Biden's order signals an escalation in mounting controversy over how the virus first emerged through animal contact at a market in Wuhan, China, or through release of the coronavirus from a highly secure research laboratory in the same city.
It's imperative that we get to the bottom of just where the pandemic originated, not just for the purposes of understanding this pandemic, but the pandemics to come. You know, this is something that you have to ask the Chinese government, right? This is something that should be important. It should matter to them, but this is a question for them.
And now let's take a look at the COVID-19 updates from across the world. We're going to look at those numbers right on your screen. More than 16 crore 91 lakh people have so far tested positive for COVID-19. The number of recoveries stand over 15 crore 7 lakh globally. The deadly virus has claimed lives of more than 35 lakh 12,000 people worldwide. United States continues to report maximum number of COVID-19 cases. As many as 3 crore 39 lakh 69,000 cases of COVID have been reported in the country so far, while more than 6 lakh people have died of coronavirus in the country. Mali's interim president and prime minister has resigned 2 days after they were arrested by the military, an aide to the vice president said, deepening a political crisis and potentially setting up a standoff with international powers. President Barnada and Prime Minister Mukhtar Kuwain were taken to a military base outside the capital on Monday after a cabinet reshuffle in which 2 officers lost their positions. The intervention, led by Vice President Assimi Goïta, has jeopardized Mali's transition back to democracy after a coup in August overthrew former President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. Meanwhile, the UN Security Council has strongly condemned Mali's military ouster and arrest of the country's interim president and prime minister and called for a return to civilian government. In a unanimous statement, the council called for the safe, immediate and unconditional release of all the officials detained and urged the defense and security forces elements to return to their barracks without delay. And before we wrap up, a quick one from the world of sports. Well, David De Gea failed at the end of the marathon penalty shootout as Villarreal dashed Manchester United's hopes of Europa League glory in Dansk. This was a disappointing contest, lacking in quality and producing only 3 shots on a target across 120 minutes, but drama arrived with the spot kicks. All 20 outfield players converted their penalties in a longest shootout in a final of any UEFA competition, and in an increasingly tense stadium, Villarreal goalkeeper Geronimo Rulli blasted home his efforts and when denied De Gea, who was crestfallen at the end. It gave Villarreal a first major trophy in their history and saw former Arsenal boss Unai Emery lift the Europa League for an unprecedented 4th time. And with that, it's time to wrap up this edition of Midday Prime. On the other side, a live phone-in show, Doctors Speak, with my colleague Shubhendu and Lalchand will be joining you. Next 1 hour, you can just call us with all your COVID-related questions with experts joining us on the show. And also a polite reminder, masking, hand washing and social distancing is must, even if indoors, masking helps. Namaskar.
Rising India, India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in Central Asian countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now. Your window to Rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in all Southeast Asian countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83